So it's a little bit late for me to do a live. I don't normally do a live this late. Normally the latest I might start is at 5. But I've been waiting on some stuff to happen, and it's just happened. Hey Stevie, thanks so much. And so we've been moving the website. So I've not really been posting because we've been so busy. So we've been moving the website from the UK to Portugal, which incidentally is a nightmare. Oh my gosh. You don't even realize Brexit also affects these electronic problems, right? Anyway, so the other thing that we were doing was we were moving from the Paul Antonio Scribe website to PAScribe.com because we have so much planned, now that I'm in Portugal, that we needed to align the sort of branding a little bit more consistently. And as you know, all our email addresses are something classes at or the studio at or at PAScribe.com. So, we wanted to sort of make that a little bit more consistent. And of course, with all of that, it also means taking down the website again. I don't even want to talk about it. But I've been very, very fortunate to sort of get started on that. And we have a new and robust newsletter page. Thank God for Stevie and Telmo and Gingy and Tama. So, oh my goodness. Now, I've just finished sending out a massive email. So some of you should be getting emails to ask you, and I'm really, really sorry about this, to ask you to sign up to this new newsletter on the PAScribe.com site. So please sign up to the newsletter. We have tons of stuff coming out. A lot of the stuff that's coming out will only be accessible to those in the newsletter. I'm not going to share it on Instagram. For instance, we're offering a 20% discount on all the classes on the scriptorium. Yay! So Echo just received. Yay! Echo, I'm really sorry it's so long. I did say at the top, this is very long. So things that the newsletter will cover. We're offering a 20% discount to people who sign up to the newsletter to apply to any and all of the classes on Eventbrite and on the PAScribe scriptorium. So just to sort of run through some stuff on the email that I just sent out. Mummy's birthday is next week, Tuesday. So I'm giving you all a present on behalf of my mother. So we are keeping the prices on the scriptorium at the same price until the end of November, and then we will increase them in line with the prices that we have on Eventbrite for the live events. Now, I'm sure you will all appreciate that I kept the prices as low as we could keep them for as long as we could keep them, because I really appreciate the fact that a lot of you were struggling. You weren't working, people were in lockdown. And I wanted to give you guys access to some great content to help you with your writing, to help you improve your knowledge base and your scripts and your skills. And so Telmo and I made a decision to keep the price of the classes at sort of £45-50. But now that things are opening back up again and people are going out to work, I have to put the prices back up for the classes. And also, this is my income. So, I do have to be conscious about this. Previously I was conscious about your income, but now I have to sort of be a little bit more conscious about my own income. So we put the prices up on the live classes to $160. All of the classes this year are a Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 6. And those of you who've been on the classes, you obviously know that it always goes over because there's always so much to share, and the content is really amazing. We had a small class for the brush Spencerian class, which was in September, And I was a little bit worried about the small class, but to be honest, I was actually really happy because we were testing out some new software which gives us 5 separate camera angles to show you how things work. And it was a little hairy, the testing, because we had done some testing before, but we'd never done it with a group. So the class went wonderfully. We have some great content from the class because you can see lots of different angles. And I asked the students to let me know what they thought of the class. And one of the students said, I felt like I was sitting on your lap. I could see over the desk where the page was in relation to the edge of the desk. I could see up under your hand. I could see over your hand. I could see all these different angles. And it really helped to make the learning process a lot easier. So we're really glad that this new software that we're working with for the live classes really works so well. Obviously, that recording is going to carry over into the PAScribe scriptorium. We will have that recording up soon. We're just sort of struggling with the fact that this new software we're using is insane, and it dramatically increases the clarity of the video content, which also means it increases the volume of the size of the file. So before we would, do a sort of 1.5 hour cut, and it would be, a gigabyte and a half, and now it's 3.5 gigabytes. So we have to cut this up a little bit more in order to put it up onto the PAScribe scriptorium. So those of you who attended the Brush Spencerian class, please bear with us as we put this up. We didn't anticipate having this much more, the file sizes being this bigger, and having to go into the files and really start cutting things up. So that's taking a little bit of time. So next weekend, we're doing the Judy script pencil script. So, I have this upright Copperplate. And for those of you who have downloaded the PAScribe upright Copperplate script training wheels, that is the basis for this. Of course, the training wheels are only part 1, and it's only the minuscules. In the workshop we're running at the end of the month, we're looking at the pencil form of these minuscules from their whole form to their half form. So I'll do a little demonstration in a bit. And we're looking at the majuscules as well. Just a little bit of information about how I see the classes running. The reason why I opted to do 2 sessions so that we had a Saturday class and a Sunday class is because of what happened at the beginning of the year. So for Copperplate script, we did the script, we did a lecture, which was excellent, giving people a real insight into what Copperplate script is and how it differs from English roundhand, engrossers and engravers and other variants of Copperplate. And then we did a workshop, a 2-day workshop, Saturday and Sunday class. And lots of people came to the workshop and it did really well, and people were really, really happy and grateful for the volume of content, and it really helped a lot of people consolidate their Copperplate script. I didn't think that it covered enough because there's only so much you can do in 2 days. So Talma and I decided to run these things called the Copperplate catch-up classes. Now Echo is on, and I think Gingy's here, and Stevie's here, and a couple other people are here who took the Copperplate catch-up classes. And the one thing I heard from everyone was we thought it would be too complicated for us because it was more in depth. And everyone who took the catch-up classes said, whilst working through the letters in the catch-up classes, so essentially what I did, thanks Ruby, what I did was for a 2-hour session, we took one group. So I spent a whole hour on INMUVW and I looked at it in such amazing detail. Hey, Kat. And people, Echo, and quite a few, and Ruby and quite a few participants said I could see my script improving during the class because it was so detailed that there was nothing left for you to guess at. It was completely technical and really helpful with the way that the script was structured. And that made me think that we, as teachers, and I'm sure quite a few teachers do this, but I felt that I was missing this in my classes, where I would, we had so much content. We would teach the letters, teach them in a new and innovative way, because of course I'm using my fourfold symmetry to really help you understand the script in a very, very different way. But I never had the time to teach you how to put it together. So the workshops that we have in this part of the year, and for those of you who did the brush Spencerian class, what we did was we give you a handout, then we did some exercises. I don't like using the word drills because I find it so harsh, and it's too abrasive, and you really want to connect with the writing a little bit more gently. We did some exercises in pencil, then we did the majuscules. We did the majuscules in pencil, and then we came back and we did the exercises with the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, and then we redid the script with the Tombow Fudenosuke. And then we went on to some numbers and punctuation. And then the next day we did the minuscules in pencil, the minuscules with a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, the diacritical marks, some flourishing. And then I showed you how to actually write. How do you take the letters and put them together in words? How do you put the words together in sentences? How do you put the sentences into paragraphs? So I realized that a 2-day workshop is a really good scope for this kind of thing, because not only are we covering letters, numbers, punctuation, we're also covering a little bit of flourishing, and we're also looking at how to put the letters together so that you actually go away knowing how to use this. So the next class that we have coming up is the Judy script in pencil. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration. So just remember, Friday is our live here on Instagram, where I help you. So if you have any questions that you're struggling with, none of your personal questions. If you have any calligraphic questions that you need help with, I'm more than happy to help you. For those of you who are struggling to come back to calligraphy because of an illness, because of an ongoing illness, please join us. Please ask questions. I'm happy to help you, because after what happened to me with COVID, I'm still struggling. My breathing gets a little bit erratic every now and then. I get tired all the time. I was actually going to have a nap, and I decided to do a live, great trade-off, right? But I know that those of you who are struggling to do your work because of chronic pain, I know this is difficult on you, and I'm here to help you. So, and those of you who are struggling with your work in general, Fridays I've decided to set aside for a live, so that I can help you with questions on any script. We had a great question last week, Friday, on the humanist minuscule. I was so excited that somebody had asked a question that is on, not a regular script, and also not a pointed pen script. So it's nice to see people sort of using broad edge nibs. So don't forget, that's Friday. I think I'm not sure if it's 3 or 5. I think it might be Friday at 3, because actually I think we're away on Friday. I'll get back to you on that one. I need to talk to Tim. So Fridays I'm setting aside to do this. I'm here to help you live, and just pop your questions on. If you go to last week's Friday's live, you can leave some comments in there. You can leave some comments on the questions there. Please don't DM me the questions, because it'll be really difficult to collate it. Just drop them in the comments for last Friday's class, and then when I do that live, I'll go to those questions and get those there. Okay, brilliant. So let's swap this around so you can see the script. So this script evolved out of the need to have something in the studio. Right. Give me a second. Something out of the need, the need in the studio to have an upright version of Copperplate script. And that really helped me to sort of think, how do I take Copperplate script and make it vertical? So what I did was I took the script and, sorry, I'm just trying to plug something in here. Where is this? I forgot I needed my iPad to see the comments that are coming in. And because I've just put the camera in the jig, I can't really see where it is. So this upright Copperplate script was born out of the fact that I wanted to be able to do Copperplate script at 90 degrees. So where is it? Oh, it's over there. So the upright Copperplate script, the training wheels that we developed, was to help you to write the script in its upright form. And we developed this really super grid. So this is the upright Copperplate. This is the free part of the training wheels. And you'll see that, and we have this on Shopify. We have this on Shopify, but we also have this on the PAScribe scriptorium, and there are videos on the scriptorium to help you if you got this. So that's the upright Copperplate there. So I'm going to grab the grid. Actually, I will grab both. I'll just grab the more complex grid. So this is the more complex grid. Actually, oh my God, this is it. You know, the funny thing is we've moved, so I don't know where anything is, right? So this is me testing different pencils. So this is an 8B, 6B, 4B, 3B, 2B, B, H, B, F, H, 2H, 3H, 4H. And there's lots of little notes talking about how the tool works around the turns. And so I was working out which tool works best to produce this shape. So you can get these, this is a free PDF that we have. And so the upright Copperplate is based on, where is it? I just took it out. Here it is. It's based on this absolutely super grid. And it's about moving around the grid. So you can see here, let's just get that in there. Let's get a sharper pencil. You can see here, this is your baseline. Let's zoom in a little bit more. That's your baseline. That's your X height, ascender and descender. So what you're doing is you're going up. Wrong glasses. Where are the other glasses? Oh, here they are. So you're going up on the 90, around the circumference, down on the 90, around the circumference, up and down and around. So the aim of this grid was to sort of introduce you to even spacing. So you get and then you aim for here. Now, the reasoning behind this was to train you to be slower on this, because of course, so in part 2, which we cover on the workshop at the end of the month, in part 2, we can do this. We can halve the distance. So this would aim to the half. Now the E would normally go all the way around, but you can do the E at a half. The top is a half and the bottom is a whole. So that really starts to help you to sort of standardize the evenness of the script. So that's how the sort of the pencil caps, the pencil minuscules work. The majuscules are slightly different. I mean, they work within the same principle. And then when we move to the second stage of it, I'm just going to drop this down. Actually, I'll just work here. So we're using a third of that distance to make this up. Of course, it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to actually writing the script. So I'm just sort of showing you briefly what happens. And that then allows us to do some really great simplistic writing, which I'm not going to stick to the grid. And of course, the one thing you notice is you have this beautiful regularity in the spacing. So from there, we move from the pencil caps, the pencil upright copperplate to its what's the word? Brush form. So I'm going to show you the brush form because I love the brush form. And the thing that I sort of decided for the later part of this year was I thought, you know what? I want people to be able to do the one thing they always say to me when I do this. How do you do that? So I wanted you guys to be able to go out and bring some joy to other people's lives. So I'm just using a paper towel because it's better for the brush tip. Line to line, line to line. So the lining template has a little line on every other one, so it helps me to sort of skip them much more easily. And I'll just do that. Let's put this back. So I'm going to use a Kuretake Cambio Vermilion. So obviously 2 variations of the S there. So this, I've compressed this a lot more, and I've also made it narrower. So that's the upright, my Judy script, my upright copperplate, done with a cambio. So it's very beautiful and really sort of rhythmic, and it sort of bounces along quite nicely. Writing that big is actually quite exhausting. I've sort of knocked the air out of myself. And so that's how the script works. So it's a really beautiful script. Hence me calling it after my mother. And it's really quite exciting, and it really helps you to sort of have something that you could go outside and do. I always have a brush pen with me, so I always have this script, and I can always write somebody's name for them. The aim of the class is at the end of this year, from September to December, are really to sort of help you to take your calligraphy outside. We were, I can't remember where we were, somewhere, and there were these kids writing their names in a book. And I went over and I said hello to the parents, obviously with my mask on. I said, you mind if I write their names for them? And they were like, oh no. And I wrote the kids' names, and the mother was like, can you write my name too? But the kids were so blown away by this. And I sat there and I said, you can learn to write this too. So just practice. And that those kids are going to have that in their life for the rest of their lives. Tim and I were in Rome for my birthday, my 40th birthday, 7 years ago. And there were these kids drawing some of the landmarks, and I also draw them. And so I showed them my sketchbook. And the kids were like, oh, how do we learn to do this? And you can do that. You can make a difference in a child's life like that. you can also make a difference in lots of people's lives. Tim and I were in a restaurant once, and I could see that this waitress was really having a terrible day. And at the end of the day, I wrote a name for her, and I put a little comment on the back of the note saying, "This is so wonderful. You've been so great. Thank you for looking after us." And she burst into tears, and she ran off, and she came back and she said, "Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this has helped me." So, as calligraphers, you have a responsibility to share joy. And that was my thinking for the scripts that we have coming up in, the one we did in September, the ones we're doing in October, November, and December. So we have the pencil Judy script in the end of this month. Then we start November with the pen form of it. And then we do my modern calligraphy. So I also do modern calligraphy, believe it or not. And it's sort of based around an understanding of my Judy script and Copperplate script and Spencerian script. So it really helps you to sort of get a little bit more accuracy in your modern calligraphy. And then in December, we're doing brush Copperplate. So I know lots of you have seen me do Copperplate script with a brush. So I am using a filamented brush for December. And that's a great script, because if you just want to do something as outside on a napkin, there it is. If you do calligraphy as a job, and this is why I developed my brush Copperplate. Doing calligraphy as a job, you would get asked to write signage, big signage, like table names this big, so that your minuscules are that big. And I started to, obviously I was drawing them and filling them in with ink, and it just took so long, and I thought there must be a better way to do this. So I developed this brush Copperplate so that I could write table names, just big place cards, the bride, the groom, table numbers, wedding signage, where the loos are, take some of this yourself, champagne here, drinks this. So, and it really helped, because it meant I wasn't wasting time drawing letters that I could write. And the letters felt better, they had more vitality and more life to them. So, the brush Copperplate at the end of the year is going to be beautiful, absolutely wonderful class. So, couple other things. So, because we have such a stable internet connection now, yay! And I've had so many of you ask me for this, and I've just sort of shied away from it for a while because the internet in the UK is terrible. Unfortunately, I know some of you have had to experience this on a class, but the internet here in Portugal is insane. I mean, you're probably looking at this going, that's really a really sharp picture. So because we have all this set up for teaching, I've decided to start offering private and semi-private classes. So private classes, obviously one-to-one. It can either be for an hour or for 2 hours. I generally don't want to teach a 3-hour private class, because I think whoever is being taught by me for 3 hours will probably jump out of the window after 3 hours. And then some semi-private classes, which are for 2 to 4 people. So I'm sort of gearing up to start sharing this information about the private and the semi-private classes. I have some really strict rules about them. You can't join the class unless you've done the prerequisites, because the prerequisites really change the way you approach your writing. You do get a discount to study with the prerequisites once you book your first session, so that at least you can, get up to speed on how to sit, where the page is on the desk, where your hand is, so your fingers aren't blocking your view and you're not looking up under your fingers. So there's a lot happening. If you're interested in some private classes, by all means, send me a DM or send an email to paul@PAScribe.com, and I will contact you. So I can send you the information. Just to give you a warning, you get 2 Zoom links if you're doing a private class, be it private or semi-private, because I expect you to have a camera on your hand as well as a tablet in your face. So you do need to be able to set these things up. You know, before I bought a jig, I actually would put my phone in a bowl and put a glass in the bowl to stop the camera from falling. But you know, the aim of these private and semi-private classes is to actually be able to see you writing, because that's where a lot of the issues happen. So so if you're interested, just send me an email and send me a DM and we'll take it from there. All right, so wow, so late. Nearly 7 o'clock here. So don't forget to sign up for the newsletter because you get those discounts. Okay, so as I'm on the newsletter, some little bits and pieces. So I'm really grateful to all my suppliers who have sent in so many products. I have tons of products and tons of doubles and triples of products, which I've tested and I've done posts on and I've gotten them back to people. So I don't need 2 and 3 of each product. So in the newsletter, every month we're going to have a giveaway. So I get to give away some of the products because I need to make space for other products. So that's one other thing we're doing in the newsletter. And we're at the end of November, you're going to get a new approach to Copperplate script. So I'm going to do this new. I've been working on this new system of teaching Copperplate script, which I feel will really make people sort of sit back from the script and really think about it in a very different way. So that's going to be sent out to the newsletter followers. If you are doing Textualis is going to be the next one. So I'm going to do a series of these handouts. So I wanted to cover Textualis. I wanted to cover pointed pen script and a broad edge nib script. And then once those are done, we'll sort of do other ones as they come. So there's a lot in the email that I just sent out. If you haven't gotten that email because you're not, I don't have your email address, just go to the website PAScribe.com, sign up for the newsletter, and I will get that email out to you so you can see what's coming up. All right. So thanks very much for joining me. So on such short notice, I'm really grateful that you guys just gave up so much time to join and listen. I do think I'm away on Friday, so I think the next me helping you live will be the following Friday. So you have a week to put together questions on bits and pieces. Tama from Black Letter Foundry is a very good friend of mine, and he has just sort of offered to help me with some YouTube stuff. And one of the things we're planning to do is to start doing some YouTube lives. So I'd really love to hear from you if this is something that you're keen to explore. I don't know if you've looked at Tama's stuff on YouTube. He has a great YouTube channel, Black Letter Foundry. Have a look at his stuff and follow him and subscribe. He's really, really wonderful. And of course, don't forget to follow Telmo, and don't forget to follow Gingy, and don't forget to follow Stevie. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.